If there's one movie that fits the bill of fun, refreshing and exhilarating, it's the Roundup No Way Out. Usually, when a series goes on like this, it's good to see familiar characters, but there are cases where it gets less interesting as it goes on. This is the biggest reason why the movies that have been successful in Korea have not been able to stay in the series for a long time. After The Outlaw became a huge hit, the Roundup came out quite a while later. I knew that production for the third installment started immediately, but I didn't expect it to come out so soon. I watched the movie without any doubts because I trusted him, and there were quite a few people watching it even though it was a weekday afternoon. Which shows how much faith they have in the character. As expected, the movie was very entertaining, and the hilarious, refreshing, and poignant. Parts of the movie still hit the mark, but it was elevated, not diminished. I heard that a fourth installment is already in production, and as soon as the movie starts, there is a scene that is now a signature, and it makes you look forward to it. It's almost like an explanation of who he is, even if you haven't seen the previous films. There's a so-called, don't ask, don't tell, assault going on in the street, and there's a group of people who are trying to stop them, and he just shows up. It's weird to see a group of people telling him to leave and not bother, and he just walks away, and one of them starts beating the crap out of them. He just takes them all out with his bare fists. It doesn't take many punches, just a few, and they're out of there. That's why we love him so much, and that's one of the things that makes the movie so much fun to watch, is that he's able to hit people with so much power. We've already shown a lot of footage of him in the trailer, because he's been transferred to a new location. The Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation, where he's going to have to solve a lot more cases, and it's going to be a lot bigger. As we've continued the series, we've changed all the other characters except for him. Which is a shame because we've gotten to know him a little bit, but it's fun to have a new character. In fact, in the Roundup No Way Out, Ma Sok-do solves everything by himself, so the people around him are not important. Even so, you need to support him to a certain extent and keep the chemistry alive, which is what the other characters show in this third installment. Kim Min Jae, who goes along for the ride, mainly serves as a drying-up role. Jang Tae-soo, the newcomer, is played by Lee Bom-soo, and he is portrayed as a slightly supportive character rather than his usual reticent image. I felt like I was returning to my early characters. Above all, it was Jaeon Sok-ho and Ko Kyu-pil who were responsible for the laughs. Neither of them are cops, and Jaeon Sok-ho plays Kim Yong-ho, a drug maker, and he provides laughs until the middle. After the middle, Go Kyu-pil plays Charong-I, the middle boss, but he's a fake character. Both of them provide fun with their unique acting skills, and since they've already established their own acting skills, they create expectations as soon as they appear. As expected, they don't disappoint. There are two villains in this movie. One is Jun Hyuk, who is already widely known for his role as Ju Sung-chul, and it is said that Ma Dong-sok called him and told him to build a body first. The other was a Yakuza. I thought it was a Korean actor who spoke Japanese, but when I looked it up, it was a Japanese actor, Munetaka Aoki. In my previous works, the villain was very ignorant, and he was moving instinctively and running full speed toward his goal rather than doing anything intelligently. Which I think is perfect for someone who's going up against Ma Sok-do, because Ma Sok-do is never a clever investigator. He's just a straightforward ignorant guy who goes around looking for villains and solving cases. This time, the villain is very intelligent and is trying to manipulate others while keeping his identity a secret. It's still more of a body than a head type of movie, so I felt like the roles were split. Ju Sung-chul, played by Lee Jun-hyuk, is the type of guy who uses his head and looks out for his own interests. Ricky, who is a Japanese Yakuza, is a shaman who has been trying to eliminate people who have betrayed him in Korea. So wherever he goes, there is always blood and death. Even so, it's Ju Sung-chul who really sets the tone and drives the entire movie. As Ma Sok-do struggles to solve the case, he gets closer and closer to Ju Sung-chul, little by little. He also meets Ricky and they have a very intense fight, especially since Ricky fights with a Japanese sword, and one wrong slash and you're dead. In this way, the movie shows mission completion with two villains in a more clever and entertaining way. If it's just action here, you're missing one of the real fun parts of the movie. Even in the midst of the action, the movie is hilarious, and by hilarious, I mean that Ma Seok-doo's lighthearted responses are so situational and relatable that they make you laugh even harder. Perhaps it's the laughs that capitalize on the weirdness of the Korean language. The only thing I didn't like was the sound of the strikes, which obviously make a sound when you hit someone. To my ears, it would have been nice to hear a different sound when Ma Seok-doo was hitting someone than when someone else was hitting him. Depending on how hard he was hitting and whether or not he was hit. It's interesting because when he does it, it sounds natural, but when he does it with other characters, it feels a bit artificial. Maybe I just wanted to hear that light blow only from him. He's a powerful character that will never be seen again in Korea. Even though he's obviously human, I feel like he would never lose against anyone. He's an absolute fighter who can take a few light blows, but the opponent will immediately make a silent shot. In Korea, where there are no guns, I don't think there's a hero who can beat up his opponents with his physical features as much as Ma Seok-doo.